In the wintertime, everybody loves to flock to the mountains. Some love to go sledding. Others like to torch themselves like this guy. While others enjoy sledding backwards. No, not us. In the wintertime, we like to surf. So when I came up with the idea for a winter surf trip to South Africa, some of the best winter waves in the world, my buddies were stoked. No, this isn't the endless summer, and I'm not Bruce Brown. This is the endless winter. On the plane, Tim and Dan couldn't hold back their excitement. Tim brought his souvenir from the States, his book on Greg Knoll. While Dan and I brought our souvenir. Our first stop was Israel. And since it wasn't officially wintertime, it was very warm. We had a couple days to kill, so we decided to head in the city, relax, check in the sights, meet the people, see the surf, and, well, you know, just enjoy ourselves. Here's Dan, enjoying himself. Dan Walsh, Tel Aviv, Israel. The next morning, us and our new friends all recovered from the night before. There's Dan, he was comatose for like 3 days. And Tim woke up and just popped in his breakfast. Tim just couldn't wait to check out the surf, so he unpacked his board and got it all ready to hit the beach. The toughest thing about surfing in Tel Aviv is just getting down the beach. Watch Tim here as he maneuvers this tricky intersection. Gets to the curve, looks once, looks twice, then runs! Tim Reiner, downtown Tel Aviv, Israel. Tim and I took a moment to take in the beautiful sights of Tel Aviv. Yes. It looked just too good, and Tim had to get out and do some surfing. Watch Tim slip right about. Every city does have its bad side as well. Tim Reiner, waiting for the sets, Tel Aviv, Israel. This is what it looks like to be standing in knee-deep water in the Mediterranean, watching Tim Reiner cruise by in his backside beauty. Just having some fun, man. Hey, we're in Israel. It really started picking up later. The locals just kept walking by, not even giving Tim a second glance. Tim Reiner, Tel Aviv, Israel. Next day, we had a day to kill, so we decided to head out and check out the city of Jerusalem. Or, what's left of it anyway. This is Tim and Dan, finally coming out of the closet. We always enjoyed meeting new people, and we asked this guy if he ever met Mickey Dora. He said, yeah, I know Mickey. Mickey was a friend of mine. He used to work for my shop here. And you guys are no Mickey Doras. The next day, we met some of the local Israeli surfers and heard that all too familiar surf saying, you guys really missed it. Should have been here last week. The Palestinian army invaded the beach and the wave from their boat was like 4 feet. Yeah, right. We enjoyed just sitting on the beach that day, talking surf with our newfound friends. But we knew we had to go, so we said goodbye. And that night, we got a flight for Africa. Our first stop was Johannesburg. We had to take a bus to the train station. The bus driver couldn't figure out what we had in those boxes, but he didn't care. Just give him a couple bucks, he'd put them on the bus for us. The train trip was horrible. After 20 grueling hours and $300 less in cash, we got our first glimpse of Africa. The rest of the trip was all we have to make on foot, since there were no known roads into East London where our buddies lived. We had to hike over mountains, through streams, go over trees, and we always had to be careful, because one wrong turn, and we could be eaten alive. Or worse. trampled to death by mad hippos. We eventually hired a guide who took us the rest of the way. And we were sure glad to see Stephen there, waiting for us when we arrived. And then we got our first glimpse of Nahoon Reef, East London, South Africa. The best thing about surfing in South Africa is when the surf's flat, you just head for the beach for some sand surfing. The next day, we went to a friend's farm to see some of the animals. That's Kimba, their pet lion, who said cats can make good watchdogs. Dan really enjoyed Kimba, and Kimba really enjoyed Dan's leg. Isn't that cute? Dan playing with a cat. That's Philip. You can tell he's been on the farm just a bit too long. Dan and Tim always try to get really close to some of the animals, not realizing that the lions in the bush were trying to do the very same thing. Dan hadn't showered for the week, and the animals couldn't stand the smell. Watch Dan trying to get close to this baby elephant. No, no, get away, Stinky. Smile. Here's Dan hunting rhino in his camouflage shirt. He next tried his luck with the zebras, but he always had to keep his eye on that rhino, just in case he charged. The zebras couldn't stand the smell of Dan either, so they left. Quickly. And the hippos? Well, they just stayed in the water till Dan left. Later that week, we hired a car and we're off to Cape Town. Our first stop, Bruce's Beauties, Cape St. Francis. This is a spot made famous by Bruce Brown in his film, The Endless Summer. Some people think I'm ripping him off by making this movie, but I'm not. Just because he went to South Africa too. Plus, he went in the summertime. This is winter. Anyways, that's me. Bruce's, Cape St. Francis, South Africa. Here I am again, doing my world-famous fun run. This move was perfected by my friend, Ed, one of all my buffs, Brown. And that's Tim Reinert, Bruce's, Cape St. Francis, South Africa. And there I am again on the outside. And there I am once again, Bruce's, Cape St. Francis, South Africa. And last but not least, Tim Reinert. Same place, same area, same country. We've got some food, and we're on our way to Cape Town, where we got our first glimpse of the beautiful city high atop Table Mountain. There's Dan getting his jollies. And here I am getting my jollies. Blah! On the way out of town, we stopped and headed out in some cool little waves. When I say cool, I mean cool. Water temperature, 25 degrees. Air temperature, 25 degrees. Rain temperature, 25 degrees. I mean, it was like ice blocking in the snow. This is also along a stretch of beach called False Bay. It's known as the Great White Breeding Ground. So Tim and I, when we were out there, used the buddy system. If one of us was attacked, the other guy would paddle over and save his board. What are friends for? We felt pretty good since there were two of us out there. It meant there's only a 50-50% chance of being eaten. And Tim, he was just stoked nobody was eaten. We took one last look at the spot we called Ghost Towns, for obvious reasons. But we knew we could find better ways elsewhere. Plus, our food supply was running very low, so we headed for greener pastures and Jeffreys Bay. This is me surfing Jeffreys Bay, South Africa. Later on that day, Tim paddled out to the point and caught a few waves. Later that day, we caught a glimpse of the man we'd been searching for, the Pope of surfing, Mickey Dora. This is Mickey Dora, walking along the beach, Jeffreys Bay, South Africa. Our food supply was running very low, so we decided to head back to East London. The next week, we spent indulging ourselves at an art festival in Grahamstown, and this is about all we can remember. But once we recovered, we headed up the coast to Durban and Cave Rock. That's Tim Reiner surfing Cave Rock in his bright orange shark-repelling shorts. This is me, finally able to ride frontside for once. Tim Reiner, Cave Rock, Durban, South Africa. And once again, same place, same time, same dude. And this is me. And once again, Cave Rock, Durban, South Africa. This is Tim Reiner doing his backside thing. And me, once again. And Tim Reiner, Durban, South Africa. And once again, same dude. This is our double takeoff. And also, the last wave we rode together in South Africa. After our stay in Durban, we all went our separate ways. Dan went in to hike Kruger Park. I went back down the coast to surf Jeffreys Bay again, while Tim went back to the States, to Texas. So as the sun set on our endless winter, all we could do was think back to the good times we had, the places we've seen, and the friends we made along the way. And we all vowed once again to return. There's no way any of us could ever forget the unspoiled beauty of South Africa. Nor the waves still going unridden today. And of course, the memories. Tim Reiner, myself, and Dan Walsh.
Stormy weather, long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run. Although these changes have come, with your cold light shine long may you run. Well, it was back in Blind River in 1963 when I last saw you alive. But we missed that ship on the long decline. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run. All of these changes.
This is Rich Walton. I hope you enjoyed my film. Goodbye. And now a word from our sponsor. Drink a lion, feel satisfied.